Hi everyone, we're Bardo Industries. Thanks for tuning in. Who do we have? Hi Jax. Hi Santaji.
Hi,
Dan,
Anita, Lindsay.
Anita, Lindsay. Hi everyone. So, we have a full schedule today planned. So let's take a look at the schedule. Okay, so we kicked off with the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with Lau. Now we're gonna be live doing a magazine. Then you'll have the XD Creative Challenge with Sam Anderson, and then you will have the Adobe Live collaboration with Joanna Lee. So please stay tuned. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm Lau. This is Roberto, my partner and co-founder of Bardo Industries. We've been here yesterday with the first session of this editorial session, I will say again. Don't forget, we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of InDesign, our favorite software ever. So we're very happy to be here. It's amazing, and thank you, Adobe, for having us. And thank you, everyone, that is coming back today for this second session.
Yeah, I hope it wasn't too boring yesterday. Stick around because in half an hour we'll have the Sticker Mule prize.
Yeah, it's a giveaway prize. It's chat and win. So we'll let you know when you have to just chat, and you'll be able, to enter the contest and maybe win 100 stickers from Sticker Mule, which is super cool.
Hello, Bardos from Argentina. Hi, Gabi.
So we have a lot of people today in the chat. I would love to know where you guys are from. I see some people from Argentina that we actually know. Hi, hola, Gabi. Where are you guys from?
Yep. Also, in 1 hour and a half or so, we'll do some portfolio reviews. So I think the info is going to be up on the Discord. So stay tuned there. And we'll love to see. Hi, Marcela from Colombia.
Yeah,
Viva
guys.
Colombia.
Don't forget to submit your portfolio so we can review. We're going to review 2 of them. So please upload them. Cool. Oh, Cape Town, South Africa. Hi, Jax.
Hi, Jax.
India, Santaji. Hi. That's amazing.
And I wonder how exactly...
How old is Adobe?
How old
Do we know
Adobe?
that? Well, more than 20 years for sure.
Younger than me.
Yes, Marisa says that she's been needing to expand her design horizons to include InDesign. Yes, I hope the same as you. I hope there are more of the InDesign sessions coming.
1982. Okay. 1982. Well, it's not younger than me. It's a little bit older than me.
It has actually 27 years. Yeah.
37.
No, 27.
1982.
82, 37. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My God. That's why I'm a designer and not a mathematician, clearly.
But like Marisa was saying, I think it's really cool that we're getting to see some InDesign. It's a super powerful feature. It has many things, and it has simplified print jobs and everything that it's editorial. And it doesn't matter what they tell you, print is not dead. Yeah. So I think InDesign is going to stick around for a couple of years.
Yeah, not only for print. I mean, you can use the InDesign for digital publications, which is super helpful. It's a very, very complete software, in my opinion. Okay, so a little bit about what we did yesterday. Maybe we can show very quickly our...
So for those who tune in today, yesterday we started planning a magazine. It's going to be an art magazine, and this is a super long process.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're kind of going fast and just touching a little bit of the basics, but we did some flat plan, which is the kind of the thumbnail planning of the magazine. and we started playing around with some cover ideas. The name of the magazine, for those who are new, is Mess, which is English for Bardo.
Yeah, Bardo, it's the name of our company. And in Argentinian slang, Argentinian Spanish slang, I'm going to say, it means something like chaos, mess. It can also be a verb, so it means different things. And we really like the name, as this is a magazine that we'll be doing from the studio. We love the name Mess for it. And, well, we're kind of messy people, so...
And also, it's like a safety net, because if the name of the magazine is Mess, you're in it for the ride, and we can do whatever we want, and we can even mess it up, and it's going to be
on brand.
On brand.
Okay, so yesterday, among the things we did in the beginning, we saw some mood boards we created for the magazine, and we did the planning of the magazine, and also we started like working on some covers. So I'm gonna start this session with showing you guys 3 of the covers that we like the most, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do after this. So this first cover, this first cover, it has a feature image in the middle. It's one of the images of the artist we're going to feature in this issue, which is the photographer and artist Celeste Martiarena. You guys should definitely follow her. Well, this is one of her images. I'm going to show you. She's an amazing photographer and also a very good friend of us. We've worked in many different projects with her. I'm gonna show you very quick one of our projects together. This is Bardo Playground. It's a part of our studio that we actually use to create whatever we want to create, and in this case are these concrete bases. So she took these amazing pictures with us that we love.
Yeah, I love the dramatic feel that you have on each picture. I think that was like what struck me the most about this session.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Okay, so we've done many works with her, so we chose her to feature in our first number. So this is one of her images that we'll be using in the inside of the magazine, maybe. So this layout is pretty straightforward. Yesterday we also showed how to create a masthead and what we were working on. Among some typography selections, we had some like handwritten letterhead.
Yeah, casual script.
Yeah, so we chose this one that we liked, and in this cover you can see that the feature image is coming on front because it's the main thing in our magazine. So it's a conceptual decision, but some people will tell you, no, put it like behind the masthead, but actually you can do whatever you want if it's your magazine.
Also in this cover there's kind of a contraposition between the framing of the picture itself, and the number of the issue below. That's really I don't want to say serious, but yeah, we could say serious, and that's kind of playing the opposite with the script on top, that it's casual, it's not respecting the frame, it's going behind the picture, so you have kind of this situation going on, which we tend to always look for.
Yeah, one thing we mentioned yesterday that it's super important with magazines is that once you decide on some design aspect, let's say having this type of masthead and having the image on top, when you start like creating different issues and repeating this, people will start to identifying your magazine. So it's a good thing to brand your magazine in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the other cover we really liked is this one. In this cover we're using one of the fonts created for the Adobe Hidden Treasures. That it's a project from Adobe that we love. Do you want to talk about that?
For those who don't know about it, it's a project about the Bauhaus and taking some of the fonts, some sketches for fonts that some designers at Bauhaus did back then, and they assigned six type designers.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. 5. To take these sketches and expand them and build a whole font out of them. So this is a really cool project from a historical point of view, and also the fonts are really cool. And one of our friends was selected to do one of the fonts. In this case, it's Josh Me by Flavia Simbardi, which is a font. It was a sketch by Jost Schmidt.
Mm-hmm.
So we were looking. We always wanted to use them, and sometimes you don't get. Sometimes there are fonts that you have them in the back of your mind, and you really want to use them, but it's never the right project.
Yeah.
And in this case, it felt like it could be a great fit. So we picked a couple of them. We picked Chance, we picked Josh Me, and I think another one, and we played around yesterday. And in the end, what we liked about Josh Me, which is the one we're using in this masthead, is that there are 2 or 3 elements going on here. One is the shapes. It's super geometrical, and it's so morphologic that it gives you ideas to play around.
Mm-hmm.
So here you can see how, and also it's a stencil. So for example, the separation between the components of each letter, the spacing already gives you an idea for the spacing between the letters or between the masthead and the image. So it's like all those things are coming from the typeface.
Yeah, it's very cool. Actually, Tim is right. Adobe Hidden Treasures is more than just the Bauhaus font. It's a lot of things about the Bauhaus. Not only Bauhaus, sorry. He's mentioned that they just digitalized all brushes from Edward Munch, which is amazing. I would say go ahead, guys, and download them and try them in Photoshop.
Yeah, this was Adobe Hidden Treasures Bauhaus.
Yeah, Bauhaus. I see Kathleen there. Hi, Kathleen. Kathleen was my host the first time I was here, and back then she was a young puppy, so that's our thing. So, wow, we have people from Bangladesh. Hi, SM Asaduzaman, I guess. Awesome. Yeah, this is very cool. So, like Roberto was saying, we really like this font made by Flavia, actually made in the Bauhaus. redesigned by Flavia. Mm-hmm. It's very cool. It gives you like a very good blocky feeling, and you can, if you just drop some guidelines here, you can see how the font just aligns the image. So it's very cool.
And in this case, like the first approach we had to this cover was we put the masthead. It was really traditional. We put the masthead on top, then the picture below.
Yeah.
And looking at the masthead, it gave you the since it's a stencil, it's like, oh, we can use this to mask the picture. Yeah. So we extended the picture, like going behind the font, the masthead.
Yeah. It creates this feeling of a window to the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So if we get to use this cover in the future issues, you can think about, okay, so maybe I'll have an image that, it just goes there and it's talking about that number.
So one thing we were mentioning yesterday is that when you design, we are planning a magazine from scratch, and we are hoping it's going to last for several numbers.
Mm-hmm.
so several issues. So you have, when you design the cover, you have to think that it's going to be a system, that the cover will have to be repeated for many numbers. And
yeah, speaking about that, the next I'm gonna show you the other cover we liked, and then we're gonna do like a very simple, quick exercise to see which cover we like the best. So this cover, as you can see, it's only typographic, and we really like the feeling of it, and it kind of goes very well with an art magazine. And we like the idea of, we're explaining to you in the cover what is this magazine about. It's so clear. It's very minimal in a way, and also very, very designy in a way. For me, type always just for me it's perfect. I can have something. I can live in a type world. Only typographers.
This one is it changed, and that was my mistake. I was playing around.
No problem. So this one,
it wasn't the
exactly. We tried two things yesterday. One was like all the type in the cover like this, and the other thing we tried is what if we shift the content. Shift the content so we go actually in the back cover as well with the font. I mean, the text can change. For now, it's just a placeholder, so we can have like an even longer copy, and it will work just fine. So what I'm gonna do right now is create another artboard, and you can do that in, how do you call this? In the small, if you go to pages, sorry, let's start from 0. If you go to pages here, in the column, in the right column, you will have the list of all your artboards as a thumbnail. You can create an artboard, go in here, create new page, and you can actually select the page and assign to the different pages, different sizes. So I'm gonna go with letter flip. No, sorry, I'm gonna go with tabloid actually. And so you can see that I have a letterhead size page here.
Size.
Yeah, letter size. The next one it's a tabloid, and the next one it's a letter again. So for the tabloid, what I want to do is something super quick. So I'm gonna go to page attributes, just clicking on the right button of your mouse on the page, and then rotate the spread. So I have like an horizontal layout.
So one of the reasons this feature is gonna be super helpful is if you're designing a traditional magazine, all the pages are going to be the same, but sometimes you might have noticed in books, especially, that there are pages that are fold outs. So maybe it's a letter, but it's folded 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you want to add in the middle of your pages in your document a new page size.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm actually doing here is just placing all these covers, and I'm gonna align them perfectly. You can do that up there with the distribute horizontal. Let me see. I know I can show that. Check. So that just align the whole thing to the page. I actually want to align to selection. So I just go here and choose align to selection, and that just made it for me. And everything is perfectly aligned right now.
So you can see many of the features in InDesign are already present in other softwares from Adobe. So if you are familiar with Illustrator, you will see that many features kind of resemble or are the same.
Yeah.
It's not difficult to jump from one to the other. You just need a couple of days. So
Tima is asking if we create master paragraph and character styles, or do you always make custom styling for individual pages, story, article? So we actually work with masters and with styles. That's something we love to do, but when you're working in a cover, and until you have the final cover, I just don't waste my time on styles. But in the inside pages, yes, and we're gonna see that.
Basically, for those who don't know, character styles and paragraph styles are like templates. So the same way we have page templates for pages, we have paragraph styles and character styles, which is you define the style of a font, the size, the weight, anything that could be up for grabs. And then it's just assigning a box the paragraph style, and you can even program it so you can say that after the kicker, when you hit the enter, and so a new paragraph starts, you will have a new style, and you can assign that style which one it's going to be. So it really simplifies magazines and newspapers and everything that is editorial, and it's going to handle lots of text and it's going to be repeated in time. It makes it super easy, and you can control it more. But before setting the paragraph styles, you have to design. So usually what we do is we just play around, find the correct font, the correct size, and once we have all those decisions, depends on the content. Once we have that decisions made or taken, we create the styles for them.
So
hopefully we'll get to see some styles today.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
We'll see.
So what I'm doing here is just giving it like a quick try to see how this magazine collection could look. And if I'm convinced and if I know that this cover layout it's flexible enough to hold many issues. So I've chose some random images here. So Dhananjay says if we can create in Photoshop or Illustrator also, right? So it depends. Illustrator is more for vector illustration, and Photoshop it's more for photo retouching and everything that it's images. I will say that InDesign is like the pot where you put all your ingredients,
so,
citing us.
Yeah, like Tima is saying yes and no. I mean, yeah, you can nail something with a pair of pliers, but hammer is gonna work better. And this is it. It's if you want to handle long chunks of text, like for example a book, Illustrator is not made for that, so eventually it's gonna crash, and it's not its fault. It's just the name kind of says it. It's to illustrate. So this is a software that is made specifically for to deal with pages or to deal with lots of text. So it's optimized for that. So you could even design without software. It's just going to be a way longer process.
I wouldn't do it. So I'm gonna show you guys something very easy to do here. So when you select something and you want to change the color of it, you can choose this tool, the eyedropper tool. It's a color picker as well. So now you can see that my graphic is like it's a vector, so it's a stroke. So my color it's here. Sorry, it's so small. It's like I know my hand here.
It's somewhere.
I was handless for a second.
Yeah, it's your computer's GPU's fault.
Yeah. So you actually choose the color you want to use. So for example, I like this one, and when I have the color, I chose that color from the image, and I really loved. So I'm just gonna go to the swatches, and just add a new swatch, and automatically we add that swatch to my swatches collection.
I mean this is a good practica.
Exercise.
Yeah, it's a good exercise because you get to see what could potentially happen with the magazine in time, and this is where you begin kind of questioning like if some decisions will hold, or maybe they're gonna get boring or they're not gonna work after 10 issues. So, for example, when Lau was just copying the covers and changing the pictures, and she changed the first background colors, I really liked how the pink color looked on the over gray and how it looked over green, and I was thinking, oh, maybe the pink color is something that's gonna stay. And then it's like, well, it's working for these 3 backgrounds, but is it going to work throughout time? So those are kind of the decisions you have to make.
Yeah, exactly. So someone asked if you could do the spine on InDesign. No, you can actually do it, but like everyone is answering that, it depends on what you want to put in the spine. If it's an illustration, just do it in Illustrator. If it's an image or something in a spine, will be difficult. But if you want to do that, it's Photoshop. And it's like all these software coexist within each other, and you use one for one thing, the other for something else, and then you put together the final project in InDesign. That's how it works for us. So, for example, this mesh masthead, we did it in Illustrator.
Also, it will really depend on the specifics, the specs from your printer. So they will, depending on how they print the cover, if it's on a different paper, they will ask you for different files. So you will present them 2 different files, one for the covers and one for the interior.
Exactly.
We're almost in the chat and win.
Yes, sir. Which is pretty cool. You only have to chat for win.
And win.
And win.
You only have to chat and win.
And win.
Win for us.
Yeah. What happened here?
Hi, Angelo.
Huh. It's
Friends
our friend,
from Italy.
Angelo. It's our friend. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
So for example, this one, you can already see that if you're gonna go with an image below that kind of complex, the complex shapes of the masthead,
yeah,
there's going to be images that will work perfectly, like this one. Actually, this wasn't like even the one we chose at the beginning, and just playing around yesterday, this one, it's like, oh, this looks even better. But there will be issues going on with the so I mean, it's just a matter of adapting the content and choosing the right picture, but it's something that you will have to have in consideration, that maybe if it's too noisy, if you have too many vertical lines, it won't work.
Yes, we're 1 minute away for the chat and win. Chat.
Win.
Yes, so stay tuned, and when the time can, just chat, guys. I'm just gonna use this one, which is pretty cool. So I'm doing exactly the same as before.
See.
Just choosing, sorry.
So here you can see how it works kind of perfectly, because the shape of the head is so strong, it goes on top, that you can complete the figure. I mean, you can still see the picture even if you have something up over. Maybe you can use the one with the.
Which one?
Yeah. Another one, the one that doesn't work, so we can show why it doesn't. This one.
It's chat and win, guys. Just chat. Chat.
Okay. Win for us.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Hey, cool. Welcome back.
like, why don't we get to chat and win too?
Yeah, I don't know why. We should win.
And yeah, and Sticker Mule is, I mean, we do stuff with Sticker Mule, so
Yeah.
we did stickers.
Yeah, we actually did stickers with them, and
We don't have them here,
No.
but
and we also did some
coasters.
coasters.
Yeah,
They're very
well.
cool. So
So-
yes, time for stickers. Jordan.
I need stickers.
Chat.
We all need stickers.
Stickers. Pew pew. Yeah, we have like a full firework situation working on here.
Hopefully, Dhananjay.
Hey guys. So in a second we'll know who's the winner. Totally random.
Sticker Mule is love.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations, Diego Cato. You have 100 stickers from Sticker Mule. You'll get the information on a private message.
Yeah, looking forward to see what you do with them.
Yeah.
Also, for those who didn't win, don't worry, there's a consolation prize. If you go to stickermule.com/Adobe Live 19, you can,
Yeah, for $1 you'll get 10 stickers basically, which
Yeah,
is a
w-
very good deal. And you can get you get to try the stickers and see how they work.
wow,
Yeah.
Diego. Wow, indeed.
Diego, you are lucky today. So stick around. Guys, don't forget to upload your portfolio so we can review them in an hour. Okay, so we were talking about the images that we'll choose to use in the cover. So for example, sorry about that.
Quick notice, if you do Command D or Control D, if you have the image selected and you do Command D or Control D, it's gonna replace the linked file. So these shortcuts, I mean, in the beginning, I'd never remember them, but once you do, they're really time savers.
So you can see how this clearly doesn't work here. This image, it just don't work. You can see that, because the image itself is so complicated. If you add an stencil on top of it, it just make it very, very complicated to read it. So when you're designing a cover, you for sure will have to choose on the content, probably.
Wait,
Yeah.
don't change it yet.
Okay.
I think there's two issues going on here, and one is the vertical lines that you have on the left side, the window. There's a pipe, and they're really not working well with the M, so you don't see the M anymore. So that's like strike one. And the other one is we have an image that has text because it's a blanket that we designed, and it says L'Union fait la force. So if we're trying to mask text with more text. So it's like in the end you don't read any of them.
Yeah.
So clearly it's like, okay, this image is not going to work. Usually you have many choices for the cover, not just one, because of these particular things. And even so, if it happens that I don't know, for some reason the image just feels right and the editor is like really pushing for it, and it's like, okay, we have to do this image, you can always go to Photoshop and play around. And I mean, you're not gonna be able to fix the text issue on that one, but for sure you can erase the window and the pipe and everything, and kind of trick to make it work.
Yeah. So there's a lot of work in doing a magazine for sure.
And like we said yesterday, there's a lot of back and forth between the designers and the producers of the content. So there's going to be back and forth with the photographers, about the pictures, with illustrators if you're working with illustrators, and for sure there's going to be with the writers. I mean, sometimes you just need an article to be longer. Sometimes you need it to be shorter. If it's a newspaper or a magazine, usually you have predefined lengths. So you have, I don't know,
Yeah.
1,000 words. So when journalists write their articles, they kind of already know that they have to stick to within a particular amount of words, but always there's gonna be back and forth between content and design.
So what I just did here is change images. We can, I mean, this is not final, obviously. Maybe we decide on going all pastel colors at the end of the day, whatever. But we can see that this layout is pretty flexible and, in my opinion, very recognizable. So it could be a potential cover for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, this one. So this one it will take me a couple more steps, but we'll get there.
I mean, here you have to, in the one we're gonna do now, I think the question is, what's gonna be the constant and what's gonna be the variable? So obviously, I think the text is going to remain where it is, but what happens with the content of the text? What happens with the other elements? So there's some decisions to make.
Do you guys have any questions so far?
Thank you, Francisco. Working with us in. To Anne and Jeanette, I mean, yes and no. Like this project it begins for Adobe Live, but what our idea is to finish it and actually print it, which it's gonna take some time, because you when it's part things that you do for yourself, sometimes they get in the back burner. But yeah, we're not thinking of this as just something for Adobe Live. Hopefully it's gonna live on its own.
Yeah.
Quark.
No, what?
Yeah.
What?
Well.
No. InDesign.
Yeah, that's Quark. I also when we began.
I wouldn't mention that.
It was still around. I don't think it even exists. And
So let's just try it with another color to see what's going on.
I hadn't thought about that.
It's just the obvious, thing. So let's see. We can go like a bluish. I'm an RGB. Anyway.
Yeah, we right now we don't really care for the specific colors, or if we're doing Pantones, because we're just really getting the look and feel, and the technical details about printing, they're gonna come up way later on not way later, but when this is more advanced. So now we're just like trying to see how can it look, and just grab the look and feel. And if this was, we're doing this for ourselves, so we'll be the ones to kind of take the decisions. But if you're working for someone, you would go to a round of
changes and stuff.
Yeah, to see like what's the feedback of the client and things like that.
So these are the 3 covers we have so far. What if we do some sort of voting in the chat to see? Let's arrange this like.
Yeah, what do we do? Number them?
Yeah, I'm gonna number them real quick so you guys can vote.
So you can tell us which one do you prefer. I think that they're pretty different between the options. They look like three different magazines, and I think they convey kind of different things. Like the third option, which would be C, looks.
Thank you.
A, B, C, yeah. Yeah, that we got,
C or
we got
D,
it right.
what do you think here? Should I say F?
I mean, it works. It doesn't have to
It's a
follow. You
mess.
could do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
it's true.
But that one, it has a little bit more of a commercial feel, which is not necessarily bad. But it does look like a magazine you would see more in newsstands. Then A is, it's like, okay, it's gonna be more, I don't know, academic in a way. And B, from the get-go, I would think that the textual content is gonna be like a really big thing in the magazine. Like it's gonna be heavy on text and not so much on images, but that's not something that will I don't know. I mean, it's not gonna be deceiving. Like you can have this and then it could be all images and no text, and it's like.
Yeah, guys, vote in the link that Tim just posted in the chat, so we can know.
B or C? No, you have to choose one. If we start, yeah, it's gonna be a tie.
2 votes for C.
2 votes for C.
Cool.
Also, you have to think about that we're voting for a layout and not for.
Yeah, let's go back a little bit to this. It's easier to go from pages. Sorry.
So we have A.
So this could be like a possible set of numbers for.
The nude card makes me weird.
Okay, guys.
C.
Well, what do you think? C.
I think C is getting more. Yeah.
We have an A.
No, there's 2 A's.
Already?
Yeah,
3 votes
C.
for
Is,
C.
Yeah.
Cool.
C. So you didn't like B. Okay. I'm not offended at all.
We had one possible vote for me, though.
Yeah.
It's
between C and A.
Yeah. C, I, A. C are dope.
Kill your darlings. I mean, you don't really. You always produce much more than what actually goes out, and yes, it's always a hard choice. And there's a rule of thumb that when you present 3 options to the client, they're always going to choose the one that you don't like. This is not the case because we like the 3 we are presenting. So we already took out what we didn't like. But those things that don't make it, they're not trash. They're always going to be in the back of your mind. So maybe they come back subconsciously in another design. But but it's cool if you kind of have a mental index, or even if you can review what you did, because there's a new project that you can kind of pick on that idea and continue. You're not gonna just copy and paste. But for example, do you have the one with the
Which one?
the throw? Do you have it over there? No, the cover with the throw.
Ah, yeah, sorry. But this one?
Yeah, like see that one. That's a project that we did for ourselves. It's a throw, and it comes in 2 different colors. But what we did is
And you can get
it from the shop outside of Adobe. But that started as it was a custom typeface for a logotype for a identity project that we did last year or 2 years ago for a conference.
Yeah.
And we really liked the typeface, and it was there. And, it's like, and we did it, so it was always there. Like
It
maybe
was always there
it was always there.
in front of our eyes.
Yeah, and now it is because it's in our office. We have the throw. It's all over, but we're like, okay, maybe we can do something with this typeface, and it doesn't kind of end up in a conference that take place once, and we bring it back this year, and we did these throws, and we get to design some more glyphs. So yeah, you don't really kill your babies, you just save them for later.
Yeah, exactly. So BNC, says Manu.
BNC, I lost track.
The chat is getting super intense and serious. Anyway, I just say that we just put a hold on this.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of C's over there, so we probably go with C. I'm just gonna take C as a placeholder, and we can decide on that later. So what I want to do now is work on. Wait, it's easier just to copy the one that has the same size.
This is a super cool feature too.
Just copy and paste?
No, move the page.
Yeah.
That's even better.
So yesterday, one of the things we did, thank you, is to create the document. I can just show you super fast how to do that. Just go to File, New, Document, in this case. And here I will put print. We're doing a letter size magazine, so letter is fine. You can choose the name of pages. We have 28. You can just, you can even like choose the columns you want to use. I think we had 12 yesterday, and the gutter, margins, etc. These are things you can also edit inside the program. So what we usually do is just, leave that blank and see how it goes inside.
Yeah, the number of pages, always remember that it has to be a multiple of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it's simply because the way the magazine is, it's sewn together, it's booklets.
Yeah.
So you will have 4 pages for each piece of paper.
Exactly.
So it's always has to be multiple of 4. And if it's not a multiple of 4 and you did the whole magazine, you're gonna be in trouble.
Okay, so I just placed my cover here, and I have the raw content here that we're gonna use. We already chosen some types that we like from Adobe fonts. This is a Stevie Sands book in different weights. It's very cool. So someone asked about the photography. I don't remember who was, but the photographies we're using are either from the artist Celeste Martirena, that she gave us permission, obviously, or they're ours photography. For this magazine, it's an art magazine. We're not going to use stock photography because it doesn't make any sense. The idea of this magazine is to feature 1 or 2 artists that we like and mix it with some of our work that we do outside client-based work.
Or even more, because if it's, we will have about 2 features, I think. It's not a really long magazine, 28 pages.
Yeah.
So we will have 2 features about 2 artists, and we can go in length and have an interview probably, which is what we're going to do with Celeste. But you can also have another typology of page, which could be like a short showcase, which is maybe just a spread where you show 1 image from 1 artist and their bio.
Yeah.
Or play around a little bit on that, and it's going to be just 2 pages. But it's cool to have different typologies of page, because that's going to give you a rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So I just want to come back a little bit before showing Celeste's work to our main document. should be here. So yesterday we showed you guys our creative brief. Oh, sorry about that. Going back. It's a layout for an art magazine that showcases portfolios and interviews from artists and designers from multiple disciplines across the globe. So each artist has its own strong visual presence, so the magazine has to be able to navigate through this myriad of visual styles and somehow emerge with an identity of its own, being instantly recognizable in the competitive shelves of the newsstand. The target audience will be 18 to 45 years old and old art and design enthusiasts from all over the world, from art students to talent scouts. The magazine will be initially released biannually in English, 28 pages, hopefully. So we showed some, mood boards for the cover that we liked, that had like a strong masthead, and we showed some layouts.
Yeah, for inner pages.
For inner pages that we were attracted to, or we feel like they had like the feeling that we liked. And we also showed you guys a mood board of typography that we liked. Okay, so going back to our inner pages, I'm gonna show you guys some pictures I have from Celeste that we could use. I just want to show you very quick her work. This is a project she did where she will shoot like cats and people that looks, or they're kind of,
yeah, they look alike or
yeah, in similar positions, which is super cool. So this one will be this one. It's so cool. I'm gonna go fast.
So you can already see that there's a play between two images, like you would have the cat and you have the person, and they're doing the same pose like that. So that can spark an idea, like, oh, maybe we're gonna have two pages doing always doing stuff, or maybe it's something that you keep that you decide not to. But looking at the content starts kind of giving you an idea of what like maybe this one is gonna be great for an opening spread.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm gonna work right now. I want to have like a very strong opening spread, and I want to choose one of Celeste's pictures. I'm really leaning to the ones, these beauty portraits. I think they are very strong, and I think it kind of defined her work very well. So I'm just gonna go and place this image here, and I'm gonna just extend this frame. And if you go to fill frame proportionally, it just will extend the frame inside the mask.
Also, if it's going to be, if we're gonna go full bleed like we're doing in this case, we would have to go off the border of the page.
Yeah.
And
so we could do that. We can set up our bleeds. So we go, sorry, I'm gonna go again. You go to File, Document Setup, and you go to Bleed and Slag. And you can put, for example, I'm gonna put just
0.25 inch.
Yeah, it's a lot, but yeah, 25 inch, and that should repeat everywhere. So now you can see this red line. Here. So basically, what we're gonna do is extend the photography to the line. So when it's printed, we have some room if the printer moves when it's printing.
Yeah, when you cut the pages, maybe it doesn't fall right in. So if you go to the border and you're not giving room to wiggle, you would have like a white line in the border. So that's why you always print outside if you're going full bleed, you print outside of the.
Yeah.
And then with the crop marks, the printer is gonna
guillotine. it's gonna cut the magazine to the size it has. So Alberto Silva is asking 0.25 bleed. So we're talking inches. That could be, I mean, it's a lot for a printer. When we were working on millimeters and centimeters, it was usually 3 millimeters. So it's pretty precise, the printing, but just you have to be sure, because those things happens and the pages move in the printer, and then you get, when it's cut, you'll get like a white line if you didn't extend.
And it really depends on the printer and what they're using and the method of printing. If you're gonna use offset, or if it's gonna be printed in a different with a different method. So we were saying, like, for example, you can't go full bleed with newspapers the way they are. I mean, you could technically go full bleed where it falls.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the only case.
So yes. So in this case, I like the idea of having a strong image in the right, which is the first page you will see when you open a magazine. So I would say it's the most important page. So I'm hesitating if putting text here or just putting her name here. I'm just gonna try something that I have in my mind, which is like having like a block of color on this side. Wait, so we don't use flag. So yes, we're gonna do again color picker. The shortcut, it's I, just the letter I. That's like a nice color, but I want something a little more reddish, not so dark. So just I'm gonna go and double click on the color and adjust it by hand. Almost there. Cool. So we have now like a possible opener for this article. I'll bring this to front. We had an interview with her, and she gave us some interesting insights. So I have this one that I want to highlight. I'm not sure it's gonna be in the opener, but maybe just gonna save it for later. I'm just gonna go with her name maybe. So she has this very cool phrase that says, "In every second of my life where I shall find light, there will also stand my obsession to interpret it, translate it, treat it as my own, to project feelings and ideas." Okay, so
so maybe what do you have?
So I really like the idea of the every second.
Like every second.
Yeah, every second could be like the title of her article. Could be cool.
Every second the work of
Every
Celeste Martin.
Yeah, something like that. Let's go like lowercase.
Lowercase, you're going crazy.
Okay, so we have half an hour for portfolio review. So guys, don't forget to submit your portfolios. It's gonna be cool to review those portfolios. We're gonna choose 2 to review today, so please go ahead and upload them.
Mukesh says, use the color theme tool to get more color from the image. Yeah, if the picker, it has another kind of feature that it's similar, where if you click on the picker and you hold it, you're gonna see the other options, and one is like that it's gonna give you several colors, like a short palette, where to pick. So it will give, maybe if you pick some color of the photograph, it's gonna give you like 4 or 5 colors that could work.
Yeah.
and that could work for your whole composition. So yeah, it's a cool feature too.
So what I'm basically doing here is playing around a little bit with font sizes. Like I've mentioned before, we chose this font from Adobe Fonts. The name is Stevie Sans. I'm using a medium here. We are working with the 12 columns grid. You can change that from layout, margins and columns. What we did before, I'm just gonna go back a little bit so you guys can see it. I'm gonna go to pages and to the master pages. So I set up all my columns and margins here in the master. So you just select both here, go to layout, margins and columns, and then you can choose whatever you want to use. And that will be applied to your different pages. You can actually create more than one master. Let's say in a master you will put your pagination. Let's say in the master, in one master you'll have like one grid, and you'll have a second master for a different grid. So it's very useful, and I'm just going to show you very quick how it works if you put something in the master. So let's say I want this image to be repeated all over the place.
Everywhere. Yeah.
So if you see my pages window here, all of my pages have the same image right now. So it's some sort of how will you describe it? It's you put in the master. Yeah, you put in the master everything that you want to be repeated.
Yeah, like the number of the page.
So for example, maybe you're asking, but if I put number 1, it's going to be number 1 everywhere. And actually, let's say we're going to create a pagination real quick. So I go here and I can write whatever I want. I'm just putting an A as an example. Let's make it bigger.
Use something else. Use
Stevie Sans. We're going to use Stevie Sans.
not an A.
Okay.
And it will make sense. But
let's put a hashtag.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing here is putting just a symbol for the software to recognize it, and I'm gonna assign this symbol some sort of a style. So I'm gonna go here, insert special character, symbol, no, markers, yes, current page number, next page number, previous page number, whatever I want to do. I'm gonna go with current page number. So that's gonna actually number all my pages on the right side. If I repeat this on the other page, it's gonna be numbered in both pages.
So the reason that it's an A on the master is because the name of the master is A master. Yeah, that so you can always go back to the master and edit the spacing.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, you know. So you're putting like crazy pagination in your pages. Why not? You know, do whatever you want. So it's a very cool feature, and you can actually, you know, put maybe the name of a section you're working on, and it will repeat in all the pages. Okie dokie. So as you can put the different your setup for the layout, the columns, and your basic grid, that will repeat as well. So I'm using this 12 column grid right now, and I'm playing around a little bit, and I'm going back and forth between seeing the grid and not seeing the grid, as you can see here.
You still have 26 minutes to submit your portfolio. Yes, thanks, Tim. Time is running out.
Yeah, guys. So and Jeanette is asking which paper format we're using. We're using letter in this case.
Which is, I mean, it's standard for the US, but if you're in Europe or mostly everywhere outside the US, you would use probably A4. But then again, this really comes to the printer and what they have, and what they do.
Yeah. Yeah, let's say I like it this way, just for the sake of moving a little faster. Someone asked if we're just going to review portfolios in the last half hour. Ideally not. We really want to show you guys how to create a mockup real fast in Dimension, so you can showcase the magazine you design. So hopefully we'll get to that. So let's say this is our open spread. We can go back a little later. Now I want to do an open spread that it's only text, I think. So I'm just gonna go back and see my cover. My cover is pink right now. I have some black things there. So I'm just gonna try something with maybe like a dark background. Again, go into the security area. Let's say we do this, and we like the idea of every second, so that's gonna come down here. Where is it? It's in my other page. So here it is. So let's take the work of Celeste Martirena for a minute out of this paragraph box and just put it outside. We'll get back to this. So let's see. I really want this to be related to the cover, and I have my pink color from the cover here. So what if I'm going like black and pink for this, and I'm gonna go bigger with the title. So right now I'm having 48, yes, 48. Size type, I'm just gonna go 90. Yes, only in the US we have these crazy sizes, paper sizes and inches. Well, and also in England.
It doesn't make too much sense. It comes back from the idea that it was, and I might be wrong, but this is what I know, that it was the length of the arm of the person who was making the paper, so that's
super random.
Yeah, that's why we have these weird page formats in the US, and it's not just the letter, it's A4, it's a tabloid. I mean, the A system, where you have an A4 and two A4s together make an A3, and two A3 make an A2. That's way more logical. And
yeah, but we're not gonna trash this system that we work on.
Maybe
right?
one day it will change.
Are we gonna do it?
No, this is gonna spark an argument in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone is gonna defend letter or tabloid.
I mean, we are forced to use this system over here, but I mean, you kind of get used to it. For me, it makes more sense to use, obviously, the metrical system. I grew up with that, and it's so simple. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is having I'm just gonna draft these inside pages, and I'm gonna let Roberto work on the details later, maybe if we have the time. So what I'm having here, it's like a big title here, using my columns as well, etc., etc. We haven't decided on any paragraph styles yet, so this is super first approach. We can do that later. So you can see that I've chosen to use this text, part of her interview that I liked. Just gonna go with auto here for the, how do you call the línea entre línea?
Oh, in English.
Yeah.
Mouse over and it's gonna say.
Yeah, for the leading.
So Mukesh asks if we prefer to do rough layouts in Illustrator and
in Illustrator.
On Illustrator, no, on paper. My mind is I saw paper and I thought of Illustrator.
So sometimes it's for the planning. We'll draw the different pages and decide on. Okay, so this is gonna be the cover. This is gonna be like a feature image. this is gonna be a short article, an interview, etc. But usually, lately we're doing everything digitally for this.
And maybe depending on what you're doing, you would start maybe like, that's why I say Illustrator, because maybe you would sketch on Illustrator and then move to InDesign. That's really subjective. I think it's really what you feel comfortable with. Personally, I really like to work with grids and baseline grids, and so I would design always. In this case, I would design on InDesign right away.
Yeah.
And move with the tools that I have there. But it's really how you feel more comfortable.
Yes, absolutely. And in this case, what we are doing is basically creating rough layouts that we can later adjust as we are deciding on how our magazine is going to work. We can even have like different layouts for different numbers depending on the feature artist.
You could have an image there too.
Yeah. How do you ensure that the blacks are printed black 100%? So there are many ways to do this, to be honest. One is just, go to the color black and just go here and you have 100% black. Some people will like something called a richest black, which is 100 of cyan, 100 of magenta, and 100 of yellow, and 100 of black. It's like putting everything there.
Yeah, there are different recipes, and like always go 100 with K, 100 with black. But if you only do that, it's gonna look slightly grayish or brownish. So depending on what you're trying to achieve, you're gonna throw in some magenta or some cyan, and there's different kinds of rich black. There's ones that look on the kind of on the blue side, but the other possible solution is you could use a Pantone.
Yeah. The Pantone color, it's already a mix, a very, very specific and right mix of the 4 colors, or more colors actually. So if you use a Pantone, you'll get, like the perfect color you want. So you can go 100% black, and it's gonna be black, more like a, word black, something like that. But if you go 100% in the 4 colors, then you'll have like this rich black. It depends on what you're doing, to be honest.
So Marek has a point, and he or she, it's never do it, never go over 300, and yeah, you would technically never use 100% of each inks. So you will always go with, for sure, 100% black, and then little percentages of the other inks, and that's gonna be adjusted by the printer. Like you're gonna have a print proof, and you will see if everything is right, and then you can adjust. And sometimes there are adjustments that it's even done, like they would do it in the machine, which is kind of the old school way. And that's where maybe they will feel like they print, and you see the first print coming out of the printer, and it's like, oh no, we need to pump something a little bit, and they will adjust it right there. But yeah, each printing house has a specified maximum sum of color. Yep. Yeah.
When you work on print, you usually start working with the same printers all over again, and they know what you want, and you will know how to work with them. But it's always good to have a good conversation with them beforehand, and also have samples of your work. They could print, maybe if you're unsure about how the black will look, you can ask them to print a couple of different samples that you create from them and choose from there. So in this case, the background, it's 100% black. Always afraid to use 100% black for a background, says Oluwaseun, I think.
Yep.
I'm not
I think
afraid.
but I think it will look, if it's, in this case, if it's just 100% of black ink and that's it, it's gonna, the kind of grayish brown, black that you will get, it's gonna look great with the pink. And even if it's, I don't know, if there are little spots or something, I think it's gonna look great.
Yeah.
It's even gonna work better than a full black, than a rich black. So I really like how this spread kind of changed and found its own way.
Yeah. I think it looks really nice if we're unsure about the black, and we could go, something maybe on the gray side. But it looks nice too, but I mean, pink and gray, they always work together. But in my opinion, we have this cover, which is a super pink cover, and we have some black here that we intentionally used. So I'm just gonna stick with the black for now and see how it goes.
Yeah, Jack has a great point. Adobe Acrobat can show you your ink coverage in the print production settings under the ink manager. And it's always, once you export your file, it's always good to do a double check with Acrobat. And especially if you're using Pantones, it's like you want to make sure that everything is right.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
cool. I kind of missed the interview here.
maybe it was
So-
deleted. Or maybe it's outside. Go W and...
Yeah, no. I think I deleted it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go and... Oh, we have 11 minutes.
Yeah, to the submission deadline.
Yep. So I have it here. Go back here. So, okay. We have the interview here. This is a super basic setting that could work for an art magazine for sure, that we had from before. It basically has this introductory. How do you call it?
It's an intro or a kicker. The name changes depending on where you are, but yeah, it's an introductory paragraph, and right after the title usually.
Yeah, and you can see that I'm using the whole width of my working area here, and I'm using a 2-column text paragraph here. I can actually change very easily the columns I want to use, so I just go here, up here to the column icon and just change it as I want. So I'm just wondering, what if I do like 3 columns here for this interview? That could look really well. So if I make my text box smaller, I will have this small icon that has a plus red symbol here. It's so small, I'm so sorry. If you click on that, it will give you a continuation, I would say, of the
text
box.
Goes in the next text box. Yeah,
Exactly. So I could go like 3 columns, 1 columns, but this is way too wide for this font size. So I'm gonna go with 2 columns here, or maybe 3 columns as well, and it kind of makes sense.
Yesterday someone was asking about the gutters, and when we set up the document, you just go with some gutter, either a number that you already used and you're comfortable with, or the standard. But then when you're trying the paragraphs, it could happen that maybe the gutter doesn't work for you, and actually it's gonna be really it should be a coincidence that it works for that particular font that you chose in that particular size. So, and those are things that you won't know until you start laying out some text, like you see here, and maybe it's like you make the decision of adjusting the gutter and make it more spaced, or maybe you will have like a strong artistic decision to have no gutter and the two columns will collide. That's perfectly I mean, you can do it. It's gonna be harder on the reader, but it's
you can always do.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just creating this. I'm gonna call it this interview spread. I haven't decided on the styles yet, so everything is a little messy on the text boxes, but you can see the main layout, how it could work. I think it makes a lot of sense for an art magazine, in my opinion. It has like a very nice air here, and these pictures are so peaceful that, you know, it's talking directly about the photographer style, in my opinion. So I'm wondering on the chat, who's a student and who's a professional over there? I would love to know if you guys are even listening to me.
I mean, two things about this page. It's like if you're gonna have the body, the text body, and this is going to be meant for print, you have to print it. It might look great on the screen, and it's like, oh no, this might be like the perfect size. You still have to print the spread, see how it looks, and maybe you will have to adjust. So that's, you always have to go back and print and check the sizes. The other thing is when you're, and these are not strict rules, but if you're gonna have, if the reader is gonna be reading a paragraph and then jumping to the next column and then to the next column, and you have to go to another page, it's always helpful if you keep the same width of the column, so they kind of, you're changing the page and they're gonna go to what looks exactly like they were reading before. So if you change the width, so let's say that you have 3 columns there, and then you turn the page and you go to 2 columns. I mean, you can do it, but it's going to be harder on the reader. If you keep, if you're consistent with the column that you're using throughout the article, that's going to be like a quick hint. It's like, I'm going to continue reading what I see. And it's also helpful because sometimes in an article or in a feature, you would have 2 different types of content. Maybe you have the interview, and then you have a side note or a sidebar that talks about, I don't know, a particular picture like this one. So it's like, oh, the albino series. And so you can play, and it's like, okay, this, if I have 3 columns, it's going to be always the interview, and if I have one big column, is going to be about something else. It's another typology. So the reader it's like, oh, where do I have to go? I already know, and this is going to be something different.
Yeah, well, totally true. We have a lot of professionals and some students as well. This is very cool. We have people that it's a professional, but they feel that they will always be a student. We are all students.
You're always learning.
In the book of life.
Yeah, we're always learning every day.
Yeah, exactly. So deep, totally. So the good thing about these Adobe Live experiences, in my opinion, is that you get to see how other people is working and how the process is for them. So I really recommend you guys to, stick around and see the sessions you like. They're very informative. The first time I was here, I did a branding project that you can actually see it in our profile. The name is Verde. It was very good. It was very fun to do it. I had Kathleen with me. She was hosting. Roberto wasn't here that time. But yeah, so it's very helpful, I guess. I think, in my opinion, to see these streamings.
Yeah, I mean, InDesign is so big, and a project like this, like a whole magazine, there are so many elements that you cannot cover them in one live stream. So that's why we need more streams about InDesign. But yeah, they're super. I mean, if you've never seen InDesign before, at least you have like a good feel like of what you can do and what is it for, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when Andrew Patterson is asking, when a client gives you a lot of content to fit in a specific template, how do you prioritize, or what do you do? So yes, you do prioritize, and as you're the designer, you get to choose which image or which content you think will fit better. If you have like text content that is huge and there's no way you can add that, you can tell your client, like, listen, unless I put in a size 4 typography, this content is not gonna fit. And you can give them like a word count of the amount of content you can fit, and ask them for, hey, can you just shorten this up? Or for example, if they gave you like 3 images but you think it will work better with 1 or 2, you can show them, like, listen, I know you gave me 3 images, it's not gonna fit very well in my opinion, so this is how the template looks with 1 or 2 images. It's way better, and you get to explain them why you made those decisions. So that's pretty cool, and that's actually something that's gonna happen to you guys. And it's always good to have like an open conversation with your client, and because they are not designers, you're the designers, and you get to say, what do you feel it's gonna fit, it's gonna work better.
It has to be a collaboration. It's a collaborative process, so it has to be, both sides have to kind of work their way. And the thing is, like Lau says, if you explain the reasoning behind what you're doing, and it's not like I don't like the text, I want to chop it. It's like, no, there's a logical reason behind that, and they could argue there's a logical reason to keep it, and it's like you will show the risks.
We're almost 1 minute away from the portfolio reviews. Guys, don't forget to upload your portfolios so we can review them. We're gonna review 2 of them, so it's gonna be fun. We're not gonna be reckless. We're gonna be good.
Yeah.
So please.
That white hair guy looks like a digital painting, which probably done with the mixer brush.
No, I don't think so.
If you did the challenge yesterday.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's an albino guy. Very, very interesting. So yeah, how are these portfolio coming?
I think there's 30 seconds. There's not much.
Yes, I mean, I can just show you. I think this open spread I like. This could be, we could go even crazier with this one if we want, but as the first rough, I think it's very nice. And this could follow for sure that. So you have, I don't mind if you don't read it here, because that's gonna be repeated next. We have 4, 3, 2, 1.
We'll be right back after we go to space.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're back. We're in space and we're gonna review some portfolios in a second. Yeah, so the trip was super fast, as you can see.
They gave us snacks. which was fun.
Yeah, for us was 2 years, but for you probably a couple of seconds. So that's how space works. Now that we reach some air, I'm just gonna take this out. Some oxygen. Cool.
Is it safe?
It's safe, you can do it. I mean, you're already like...
Yeah, I like to live in danger. Danger is my middle name.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
my head is huge.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Nori's in Pluto. Yeah, we said hi. We didn't. You didn't see us. We were like waving.
Yeah, we were the two guys waving from the window.
Okay, so we have a portfolio very cool here. It's Jennifer Rubio Leal.
From Coyoacán, Mexico. Pretty cool.
We should do it in Spanish. No. I would love to know if Jennifer is in the chat right now. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it says, for those who don't read Spanish, I'm an illustrator with an interest in the editorial world. I'm obsessed by houses, especially when they have Techo de Barro would be Adobe.
Adobe. Look at that.
So let's give an overall look.
Yeah,
And
looks really nice. There's a lot of like handmade illustrations, some sewing over there.
well, this one already caught my attention.
Yes.
Which one would you like to see in detail?
Let's see the first one first. It says cosas
de casas. Okay.
things from home.
From houses, yeah.
From houses. So basically, it's a book.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice. I wonder if it's a real project.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. And it's cool. I mean, it's cool that it's an editorial project too. So we get to see the illustrations working side by side with editorial elements like the table of contents here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you, Jennifer, if you were the one who designed the book as well, or just you just did the illustrations.
The illustrations are so
This is
subtle. They're
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I love how she integrates like a very soft palette on them, and you can actually see the how do you say the strokes?
The strokes of the pencil.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It
this
has-
is great.
It's very nice.
I mean, it has such a human feel
Yes.
that it gives a level of warmth. It's pretty cool.
Yes. Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very nice. You can see the actual illustrations. Let's see another one.
Yes.
I can see that she repeats her palette in her work. There's a lot of people that has a certain style that they will, repeat, and that's perfectly fine, just their style. I want to see the one that is soon there.
This one.
Yep.
So different techniques. That's also very much interesting. Let's go down. Another editorial project. Cool.
That's very cool. Probably she will draw first the illustrations and then
Sew them.
Embroider them.
Yeah, embroider them over.
yeah. Wow, you can see the detail there. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it's also, I think it's a great idea. And one thing that print is still cool, and we're gonna consider this print, even if technically it's not, but it's a tactile experience, and this takes the tactile experience even further, because you have a different material. It's going up and down the page, so you would go straight into touching how this illustration feels. It's great.
This is almost like an art book.
Yeah,
Or
it's an art
it is an art book, probably just one copy of it because of the work it has. I love that it's black and white. I think it's interesting to see how she has a style that can apply to different formats and different styles. So she's not drawing everywhere. She's drawing, but she's applying a different technique here, which is, it's rich. It makes her portfolio even richer. Let's see another one.
And also
it's stitched.
Stitched.
Yeah.
That's
the
correct.
word.
Thank you. Also, for those who were asking about the columns and styles, and here it's a handmade project, and it's also a book, an editorial piece.
I think it folds like an accordion, apparently. So maybe,
Could
go down, down, down.
Could
You see it
could
there.
be. Yeah,
So probably if you open it, it's a huge piece. It's very beautiful. That's a cool concept.
And hard to print because you have huge sizes.
Yeah. Let's see.
This one's also embroidered.
Okay.
Wait, I mean the picture. There we go.
No, that's a project.
That's the project.
It's cool that she included this image as a feature because you can see the detail on her work. Some people will include like a final product picture, so you have an idea of what you're gonna look. She decided on that detail picture, which is perfectly fine too.
And it from the get-go, it was the one that I was attracted to the most, and I think it's because of this tactile thing. And even if it's it's an embroidery.
It's a one piece.
So she mentioned she was in her bio that she was into editorial design, and you might think, well, we cannot stitch 12,000 magazines and the paper's gonna break. But I think this image on its own, like the picture of the embroidery, you could place this in New York Times, New Yorker, whatever magazine you're.
Yeah, and it will work perfect.
Yeah.
And I love that. Well, she had maybe you'll think, this is only one image. It's not. There are more. But
This is even cooler.
what I wanted to say is that they are super conceptual. So if you go up, you'll see this hand like, how do you say desarmar?
Like
Unmaking.
unstitching.
Unstitching
the.
the revolver, which is very cool. It's super conceptual, so it's a strong image.
Yeah.
And she's using the technique to transmit the concept, which is, it's very smart.
Yeah, it's very clever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here it's also you can do kind of the same. It gives you like an added layer of content, of rhetoric. Even if it's not in the end result, it's printed on a page in a magazine. You still see that it was stitched. You still see that it was embroidered. So it conveys the tactile feeling, even if it's not really tridimensional. It's flat.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
kind of
yeah. Same idea as before.
same as the gun. Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see one more project from her.
Sure.
What is Chalco?
What is Chalco? These are the.
And that's a
bands.
fanzine. Okay, that's
Cool.
cool. Let's see editorial stuff. So you can see that she decided on, instead of showing us directly the image, the illustration, she will show us a picture of the final product. That can be like a very good resource to show something, and then you can show like the illustrations per se. So
On its own,
so as that we are seeing this portfolio, we understand that this was printed and it was an actual project. And it's very important to show how something will look, and that's why we want to show you later how to use very quickly Dimension to create your own mockups for magazines.
You can see that it was stitched. So yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, this is all really nice, Jennifer. It's like great job.
Yeah, awesome job. If you go to the her main page. So I would say like keep on working and maybe keep on adding more examples of editorial work if you're interested on doing that. When you take the pictures, just make sure that you're taking a picture of the best result you had. So if your page is a little broken, maybe if you don't have another one, maybe you can retouch it a little bit with Photoshop and make it look better. Or maybe if you don't have the actual product, maybe you can use a mockup as well. It will work perfect.
Yeah, and keep exploring the possibilities of like what else can you say with the action of stitching, of embroidering.
Yeah, I think there's something very interesting in her work and how she's using typography. I feel like she should, I will recommend her to keep on exploring the handwritten stuff. I feel like using like a pre-made, like a typeface sometimes will constrict her work, limit her work.
Yeah.
So I would love to see a piece that it's handwritten and embroidered from her. I think that will show, more as a broad. More.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I got it.
I hope everyone got it though. Okay, let's go to the other portfolio.
Sure. Diego also from Mexico.
We have two Mexican.
Yeah, Mexico is on fire.
On fire. Cool. Let's see what it says.
My name is Diego, and they call me Dufel. I'm an editorial designer, museógrafo.
Interesting.
I don't know how you would say museógrafo in English. Posterholic, and then I make memes in exchange for money.
Okay, what else? What does he have?
So let's take a look, an overall look.
Cool. So I see like a mix of different things here.
Bravos mezcaleros.
Yes.
Cool.
So let's see one of these projects. What about Costa Chica?
Yes.
And this is an illustration. Yeah, very nice work, Diego Dufel.
Halftone pattern, I'm already liking.
Yeah. This looks like Oaxacan. No, it's Guerrero. Whoa.
Guerrero.
It's very cool. I really like this illustration. I think he's using in the halftone pattern in a very clever way. It's give us this idea of sun rising, and he's using shadowings very well. I think this is a very cool project. It's like a poster. I think his specialty is posters.
We'll see when we see the rest, but
it says there.
It's I like you say that I really like how you use the halftone pattern as a gradient.
Yeah.
But really, like showing instead of having a really small dot, you will go like the big dot and make it obvious instead of trying to hide it. And overall, the poster has kind of it has a vintage feel, and these few colors and strong shadows. Yeah. They remind me of lithographic and like early 20th century posters from travel agencies, which is most likely what you're using as a reference. And then the halftone pattern is kind of comes. It's a different printing technique. So I like how you're kind of blending two things that originally didn't belong to the same time, and they're really working together.
Yeah. Let's see something else.
Yes.
We don't have a lot of time left, so just want to see more stuff. So Diego's in the chat. Hi, Diego.
Hi, Diego.
We're happy to review your portfolio today. We can see you've done a lot of work.
Type. I'm always into type.
Yeah, so 36 Days of Type, it's a project that a lot of designers and illustrators work on.
So what you would do one letter for each day,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. I mean, it has some sort of Escher, MC Escher feel to it. The way, for example, these two, it's like really going in different in and out. It's like you want to follow it, and it's like, oh, it's impossible. I'm really attracted to these 3D letter forms, where sometimes when you don't realize which one is the front and which one is the back, it kind of keep you thinking, or which way is it going. It's mind deceiving for like a little bit until you figure it out. And I always like to when designers kind of ask you for a little step further, like don't be lazy, like use your brain. And so I really like all these things going up. So you're pushing the boundaries of type and legibility and physics.
Yes,
So
that's very cool.
This is pretty cool too.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see the first one. What is that?
This is an illustration.
Another illustration, a different style. It's like a collage illustration.
Great picture. Another collage.
Yeah, this one for me works better than the first one. I feel like the first one, if you go up, the first one has that like white shadow in the back, and that, and that takes me away a little bit from the collage feeling. I like the sculpture; it's very nice, but I feel like it's taking me far away from the feeling that you want to get. I believe. Instead of the second one, that's not happening, and it's more clear. And obviously it's a collage, and that's fine. And I think it works better as a composition. It looks very nice.
Here's another one.
Well, the same with the shadowings.
Like the glow, you mean?
Yeah, there's also in the...
Here.
Yeah,
you mean
exactly.
this shadow, cool.
And that's also like a decision on the designer side, in my opinion, because you're using something that has different styles. I think if you start like putting shadows and effects, you're like forcing it a little bit. In the previous image, you're not doing that, and in my opinion, it works better like a piece of art, let's say.
And if it happens, you don't really see it that much.
Yeah, it happens on the background.
A little bit here, yeah, but it's... Yeah, maybe it's because of the rose itself, it's full of shadings.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes it obvious that this is digital. And I don't think you need the shadow here, like to but it's really up to you. And also about the first one, I see that I see the idea that you're showing something inside. You have another image, and it's a juxtaposition between something old and classical, and this is kind of futuresque Blade Runner thing. But it really will be a matter of scale, because if this image is going to be small, you won't be able to see. You will just see a blue thing. And you will be able to see the I don't know, the futuresque details in it.
Yeah.
So, and in this size where we can all see that there's kind of a Blade Runner thing going on.
Yeah.
You can see the full picture. So it's like one thing or the other.
Yeah. I think overall you have very good projects. We don't have the time to go through all of them. Because we have only 5 minutes left. But it's very cool how, for example, in this one, you're using the collage and it's working very well with the project. So, in my opinion, when I see a portfolio that has so many projects, I always ask my students to just decide on, choose the best ones and the projects that you feel are the ones you want to be doing, you know. If you have like 25 projects, but you didn't enjoy doing 10 of them, just don't include them in your portfolio, because the work you're gonna get is the type of work you're showing.
Yeah.
So basically, that will be my comment to Diego. Like I see that you have a lot of things going on. Maybe cutting them down a little bit will work better. But yeah, great work overall.
I really like this one.
We have only 3 minutes left, and I really want to show you guys something. So we're gonna drop the.
Yeah, I really like just my 2 cents on. I really like the typeface here. What you're doing. I'm not sure if it's a typeface or if you drew it. I think the two O's are the same, so probably it's a font, but it would be great to explore also some lettering.
Yeah.
Because and how it works with the collages.
Okay, so we're running out of time. We have 3 minutes left, so let's go to my screen. So we basically did a quick dimension model for this, and you know, you can find models and mockups in Adobe Stock.
Adobe Stock, yeah.
So what we did here is finding a magazine that we liked, and we applied one of our covers there, and it's very easy to use. We don't get the time to show you in this session, but you should definitely explore that, because at the end you'll have like a very nice image that can showcase your work. And you can use this to present your portfolio, for example, or to present this type of editorial projects. And, you know, in Adobe Stock, you will find many different kind of mockups, from cans to editorial things to objects to plants.
Yeah, the big difference between a mockup and Adobe Dimension is that you can change the position and the lighting, and I mean, there's lots of things you can do, and it's going to be super helpful for people that don't have the kind of the imagination. If you show them a spread, maybe they don't see it. If you show them placed on a magazine, they will get the idea.
So guys, this was amazing, and we really enjoyed being here. There's 1 minute left, and we just wanted to show you how our process works, and I hope you all enjoyed. Please stay tuned. There's more to come, and it was amazing, and well, have a great day.
Yeah, we have a full schedule today, so there's gonna be another challenge.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.